So let's start around this corner, this table here. Let's start with introducing over here. Then we'll go Doug, myself, and then back over here to Nick. So go ahead. So with you, tell them up there.
How are you guys? Jack Torano here, Director of Sales for Espinosa Cigars. Espinosa every day, like we like to say.
And I'm Doug Sifford. I'm the local rep for Espinosa.
I'm Jonathan Jowen from the Party Source Liquor Department.
I'm Miguel Chodell, National Sales Manager with Crowned Head Cigars.
And I'm Nick Douglas, the manager of the Party Source Humidor.
You don't need any? Well, fine. Well, I have got some Boone County small batch bourbon. We've got a couple
Boone
of
County.
small...
Boone County,
Boone County.
Right next door.
Yep. This is their. This is a blend of their 5 and their 14-year-old. And I'm going to be pairing it right now with what Doug gave. Well, I'm sorry.
Miguel.
What Miguel gave me. This sucker here. Now, let's.
The Lancero wasn't good enough for you?
Well, I'll take a Lancero.
One.
I'll take that. You know. I didn't know I have one. Okay.
Right? You didn't give me anything. You got like 12 cigars. I feel like I'm at the IPCPR, man.
PCA.
Oh, PCA. I'm
Here
sorry.
for the samples.
I just learned how to say March
I do.
8th IPCPR, so look at you all hip to Zoo York. I like
Look at
it.
that, baby. Look, you got zippers on your shirt.
They're not even real.
What?
What's
There's nothing in there?
No.
why?
My wife picked me up.
Yeah.
Trying to make me go look kid.
Walmart had a sale.
Okay, so guys, before we dissolve too much, this is our first, hopefully annual roundtable discussion. I know I'm not going to light it with on
Take
that.
the ribbon off before
I was
you
still
light it.
talking to these guys, okay?
Are we live or is this being
We're
recorded?
recording.
We're not live streaming though, thank
Oh,
God.
thank God, indeed. Okay,
It gets
so
fun. I can't even pick this fuck.
you can see where this is going real quick, guys. So this is our first annual live roundtable discussion. We're going to discuss hot topics, things that you're interested in from the cigar world. Well, we all enjoy good smoke and possibly a drink of something that we enjoy. And if you
Thrice
both-
annual, maybe.
Twice annual, and if you both smoke at me one more time, I'm going to freaking lose my mind.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Edgy host.
If you get offended
This
by
looks like Alex
smoke,
Trebek
you
over
have
here.
no reason to be with us. But if you are a fan of the cigar and don't mind getting face full of smoke, join us. All right. So Nick, what are we discussing?
Well, the hottest topic, but I remember my first cigar. Would you like a Lancero? Hottest topic in the industry right now is the IPCPR changing its name to the PCA and all the new things that are happening. Any official opinion that you would like to express on any of the changes that have come about? Anything you'd like to say?
It is the hottest topic out there. Probably Miguel travels more than I do, and it is everywhere you go. It is the topic of discussion. I mean, I'm interested. I think they set out an idea, but it's not a full plan yet. So I think once we see the full plan, it'll be interesting because, like always, the idea is to get more retailers to attend. And this is my 3rd trip since the trade show. I've yet to find one retailer that is going to attend next year.
Really?
It's
They're all like, we're not going.
for those all of you out there in Cyberland that are unaware, the IPCPR has changed its name to the PCA. It's now the Premium Cigar Association. So
What
for
do you
the
think
retailer out there, the name itself just doesn't sound like it's the retail representation like it's supposed to be. Also,
Yeah.
they dropped one of the P's in there was the pipes, which no longer represented in the name of the organization, which I know has a lot of people upset. They're also dropping the half day, which a lot of bigger retailers like us need that half day to actually get to all of our appointments. But they're also planning to add a consumer day, which is probably the
Most controversial.
most controversial part because they haven't really ironed out all the details. All they've said is, hey retailers, you're going to sell these tickets for us whether you like it or not.
Well, listen, the half day was good for us too, because you cut down, you break down the booth, and you were able to get the red eye out of there and go home.
Absolutely.
That last day is now a full day, and a full day I've heard maybe till 6 o'clock.
Jeez.
So that means another night of hotels. That means another, and
That means 48 hours of go, 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 go instead of a possible 36. That's an additional 12 hours of non-stop working.
I don't know that math
I
really.
don't know that math really.
Well,
Sorry.
I'll say
It
this.
shows 3 days, 72 hours.
70, okay, 70, I was thinking 48 hours. I apologize, folks.
Well,
the noob here.
That's at the
Edit
minimum.
that out.
That's at the minimum. That's at the minimum. Can you imagine like getting edited out and he'll just overvoice it? You mean 7
Instead of 4, yeah, instead of 4. So that's 48. 72
hours. Hard to get that voice right. Well, first of all, can I say something about it?
You say whatever you want, Miguel.
All right, Scott Pierce, who is the head of PCA, is a dynamite individual. He is an incredible guy. He's breathed a lot. He has breathed a lot new life into the industry. I think into our organization. He's a dynamite personality, and I absolutely believe that he is going to take this organization in the right direction. I think we've had so many problems with the name leak, with different bloggers blogging different opinions before they get the whole story. I think when everything is flushed out, I hope for the best, and I think it'll be great for our industry. What I think a lot of people don't realize is that all of this legislation that to fight these laws that are going to hurt our industry, as far as anti-smoking, the FDA. It costs a lot of money.
Absolutely.
It costs a lot of money. And the truth is that there's only so many cigar companies that are donating money, who are putting money into the cause, the fight for this issue. And that can't keep happening. We need to find other ways of revenue to help fight these things. So the manufacturers have donated. You being just a part of PCA and you coming to the show, either it be the old RTDA, the IPCPR, now PCA, you're donating to the industry to fight these causes. And the truth is I think the last group that we would like to join this fight are consumers.
Right.
And how do you get consumers to do it? Well, there are CRA and there's these organizations, but I think overall we need a bigger voice, we need a bigger movement, and I think that's what Consumer Day is about. And I don't know all the details, but I will tell you this. I think a guy like Skip Martin, who was very, wondering what it was about. After his discussion with Scott Pierce, he seemed to be much more on board with it. So I think that's a positive sign that once Scott tells his pitch and gives his information, it seems that people are much more excited about Consumer Day than the information that we have.
Well, then they probably need to get that information out as soon as
I
possible
haven't seen any of
before
those
people make up their
other
mind to
than
only
Skip.
do TPE
No,
instead
now
of PCA.
Yeah, I think 100%. The name change I think could have been better.
Right.
I think pipes are a big part of our industry. I cut
So
my
it's
teeth.
retail.
Yeah, retail. But you remember we were RTDA, and we wanted to get away from that word tobacco, and it was very controversial at that time because we're very proud to be in the tobacco
And
industry.
they wanted to get away from CPR.
Now they want to get away from the word CPR.
Because some senator got confused and thought we were
Yeah.
about cardiac arrest or something like
So
that. Which,
are these name changes really that important? I don't know, but it does bother me that the word pipe is not in it. I think there probably could have been a better discussion about that.
Yeah.
But I think overall, I think the industry, we live in a different world now with FDA, and I think we have to do everything we possibly can do, and that's absolutely reaching out. I mean, if you could imagine, let's just say every guy who smoked a cigar on average 2 cigars a week. If we can get every one of those guys to donate $5, we can be sitting very pretty.
oh yeah.
As far as our fund to fight legislation for your right to smoke. We know that's not going to happen, right? But if we can create something that will help raise the dollar, raise the the issue to more people, and more people get involved, I think that's a good thing. And it isn't an easy road. There's always going to be problems, issues that people have, problems with ideas and this and that. But I think at the end of the day, we're a family fights. But at the end of the day, we all want the same thing.
I'm just interested to see how it's going to work out logistically.
Yeah, I agree.
We were talking about it.
Are you talking about me making 72 or 48 hour mistake there? Okay.
So you brought that up.
Okay.
I let it
Sorry,
slide.
go ahead.
Um,
I think it's got to beat a dead horse here.
First of all, I think it's really ambitious to think that 4,000 consumers are going to pay the prices that they first showed out. The
Okay.
$400, $600, and $1,200.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, and that's just the ticket to that. That's not hotel rooms. That's not flights. That's not.
This is in Vegas,
And,
of course.
and this is in Vegas.
Ooh.
I I don't see 4,000 consumers. They have those shows. They have a better bang for their buck with Big Smokes and some of the others. So I think they need to adjust that a little bit. We were talking earlier. I like his idea, and I've heard it in a few places. I'd like to give you full credit for it, but you know, where you have a Big Smoke style event adjacent to the show floor, and then what I would add to that is you can take 15, 20, 25 at a time for a tour of the show floor if that's what they want to see.
Okay.
But at least
That's
you
actually
have
pretty
your
unique
You
idea.
have a person with one of those flags like they
yeah,
did
yeah,
in Las
yeah,
Vegas.
yeah.
Just a second. Guys, what are your thoughts on that? Chime that down in the comments below. Should it be one full day? Would you be willing to go to Vegas? Or would you prefer it to where it is like a tour of like 20 people at a time going around, being with a guided tour, but yet getting the full experience? We would love to know that. Now go ahead.
I'm lost.
No, sorry guys.
I listen.
J.O. found a new way to
again,
screw it.
this is just such a. We don't know any of the details of this, and when it comes out, I'll be interesting to see, and all for the better. If it can raise money, I just don't think 4,000 people. Those prices to go for 6 hours to the trade show, and if you pay $1,200, you get a little dinner before.
I disagree. I think the first year they could get those numbers. It's can you sustain those
Box.
numbers? All right.
Box of cigars.
A box of cigars. You see it. You see it.
I owe this guy probably $1,000. It's not good.
So you're saying your track record on being right's not great here?
No, not
He's a
with
Reds
Tampa.
fan like you.
Oh,
First of all,
burn.
he's from Tampa. All right,
No, I'm from here.
You're from here, but he's a
I'm a
Rays
Rays
guy
fan.
too. You
Doug
guys
is
are
stepping
Rays
away,
guys.
but he'll be right back,
He does
guys.
today. It's clearly in your honor here.
Did you see that brawl last night though?
Oh, that was
I did.
great. Oh, that was great.
Gonna miss
Garrett.
Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that guy.
See, we need to bring that excitement to the trade show.
I agree.
Like a
You
brawl
and I,
there. Yeah.
What do
put
you-
your masks on.
See, you know,
Oh,
Yeah, we have the crowd had some people face off against the Espinosa people, and no holds barred kind of.
arm wrestle. And because your booth is made out of cardboard, I can throw you, and you could be like land on it like they do in the things. Mine will hurt because I got glass in mine, so I don't want to.
you actually burn that booth so it won't be used
No!
again.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It was a great idea.
Eco-friendly and everything. I love that.
I don't. In case you're unaware, the Espinosa booth at this year's trade show was actually made out of all post-consumer cardboard.
Yes.
It was beautiful. It didn't. I mean, it was
They
thick.
had a VIP room inside of it.
And- rocking chairs
you
sitting
know,
up front.
If they would have had the consumer day, they could have seen it.
Oh, it would have been destroyed.
It would have been
They had a
tearing
little
off,
pull-out bag.
tearing off pieces to take home for a souvenir.
He had an efficiency
We're gonna,
inside.
we didn't burn it, but we're going to probably tear it apart and give it to the people that come to Lozona Palooza.
Nice.
Give
Piece
them
of
Eric.
history right
Eric's
there.
going to sign pieces for it. And
You, Hector, and Eric.
We'll give it away.
Oh man, that's great. By the way, this is amazing. This cigar is amazing. Now I haven't smoked this size. This is I didn't think you could get better than the original.
Uh-huh.
In
Yeah.
fact, sometimes I think when you have a hit, like when we were at CAO, we had La Traviata, which was a huge hit at that time. And then we made a Maduro version, and the Maduro version just couldn't live up to what it was. I think it's scary when you have a hit like L'Orange to do a Maduro version, because can it live up to that? And I think this one does. And I got to tell you, it's
couldn't agree more.
fantastic. But I smoked this in a Lancero.
And I will tell you.
In a what?
Lancero.
Lance
a lot.
In a Lance a lot. To me, and we're going to touch on that subject at Lozona Palooza when everybody comes down, but I think it was the most overlooked cigar at the trade show.
Okay, now for our viewers who don't know, what is Lozona Palooza?
Lozona Palooza is every November, usually the first week of November.
Espinosa Consumer Day.
It's Espinosa Consumer Day.
Okay.
We bring in we kind of reward our top social media guys that are constantly smoking Espinosa, posting Espinosa. We invite them down for a 3-day Espinosa Fest, basically. We have roast pig and we have
Nice.
all different events planned for them. And some of the retailers come down. Just about everybody's welcome, but it is invitation only.
Invitation only,
It is
so mine got
invitation
lost in the
So
mail.
start blogging, start photographing yourself on Instagram
And you might come
tagging.
in, you might
Who
come
do
in
they
20, you
hashtag
might
and who do
come
they tag to get that?
Espinosa every day.
Espinosa every day.
Hashtag
Espinosa every day. Hashtag.
Or Lazonapalooza 2019. But Espinosa every day is pretty easy. Lazonapalooza is misspelled all the
I
time.
bet so.
And you know what? A lot of guys, they have to get their names put on there.
Oh yeah.
This guy, his lighters come with his name. You're talking about full of himself.
So
Jeez.
much for
I'm
hiding
thinking
that.
that one's been around for a while.
It is. It is. I don't want to say it
You
here.
got cases of them at home.
but I'm down to about 8.
Can you some Charlie stuff?
Yeah. eBay.
On eBay.
eBay.
We're on the closeout corner at the party source.
Oh!
Now I'm allowed to say that because that was a closeout from General. So I'm allowed to say that. I hope.
I encourage it.
So my main hot topic is the fact that I was in Kansas City. I go into
Great town.
wonderful.
There's no math involved in this story, right?
No math
Okay,
at all.
good.
Yes.
Which
I
should be
go.
2 hours. 5 days. He was there for 5 days, 72 hours. Sorry.
No, that's wonderful. I love it. Oh man. Okay, I can do the Jack name. Well, okay. I'm in Kansas City and I go into a cigar bar. I order my cocktail. There's a humidor in there. I buy a cigar. I order me some food. I sit down in this cigar bar, clip my cigar, and the guy says you can't smoke that in here.
What?
So you cannot smoke in the cigar bars. You can buy, you can drink, you can buy your cigars, but you cannot fire it
Do
up
they
in
have a
there.
lounge?
They didn't even have a lounge. It was a whole smoking lounge apparently one time, but now it's not.
So it's just cash and carry.
It's cash and carry. You got to buy and leave. You know, you can drink your cocktail there, you can eat your food, but you cannot fire up. You can't even do it out in front of it.
Don't go back.
And honestly, the man who ran it was an old-time cigar smoker. I mean, he's probably about you guys' age plus 30. So
I like that they included me in
yeah,
your
I'm
age.
sorry. I had to add some bad math there. but he
Way
was
younger than his
he was intensely
Could be my
upset.
father.
Maybe he is.
It could be.
Yeah.
I asked my mom if she was in Cuba in the 1980s or Little Havana.
Little Havana.
Little Havana.
Big difference.
He was very upset about it.
Not a big difference.
So, my question is what do we need to do to get us to be able to smoke in a cigar lounge?
Well, let me tell you this: Jack and I travel extensively,
I bet so.
and I will tell you
Extensively.
extensively. And there are states you go to.
Or just
I'm just
one.
going to pick one.
Seattle. I was just in
All right,
Seattle.
well, let's do Michigan. You go to Michigan. You can go to a cigar bar. You can order a bite to eat. You can have a cocktail and smoke all at the same time. I remember when you used to be able to do that in Montgomery Inn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was great. And then you go to places like Seattle, where their lounge is like a bus, an old school bus
In the front of the store.
in the front of the store.
25 feet from
Because
the
you can't smoke in the store. So it's 25 feet from the entrance, and it's literally a little school bus out
We did an
front.
event there last Friday.
And it looks like a Cheech and Chong is pouring out of this. Is it not right, Jack?
Nobody was in the bus. Well, it was a whole thing. Somebody, they have signs there that say, event tomorrow, kind of don't park here, and somebody parked the car where they were going to put the tent. So all it did was just move everything to the front of the store,
Yeah.
which kind of ended up better because we were in the shade. It actually was in the high 80s that day in Seattle, so it was a lot nicer. But yeah, the buses, they usually set up a tent next to the bus. The bus has an awning. And it's windows are open in the bus, but 89 degrees in an aluminum bus shell.
And the truth is that when we travel extensively, is that there are weird things all over the place.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been to cigar bars, like you said, that you couldn't even smoke in anymore. That happened here. Do you remember Havana Martini Lounge?
Oh, yeah.
At one time, you could smoke cigars here at Havana Martini Lounge, and then all of a sudden, you could just buy and go.
And then they went out of business.
And then they went out of business.
So the cool thing is, and it's awful, what the FDA is trying to do to premium hand-rolled cigars is awful, and we're fighting it on every step of the way. But the one thing that everything's taught us, and Seattle gets around it too, whether it be with that school bus or with a separate private lounge
Or garage. There's a shop there that has a garage in the back.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Cigar Daddies.
Cigar Daddies.
Phenomenal.
It's detached from the building. It's in the back.
As long as it has like a separate entrance, they have figured. The one thing we've all learned is government regulation comes with a lot of loopholes, and usually you find those loopholes. You know.
Yeah, they did. Now, for those of you, before you light up the comments from Kansas City, I did go to a cigar store, and as long as
Miguel
you
and I love Kansas City, by the way.
Love Kansas
I
City.
absolutely love
Jonathan that hates
Jonathan, when he spent 5 days, 72 hours there, he was just talking about their barbecue. They had great barbecue.
their barbecue's awesome.
Thank
The cocktail scene was fantastic. I've been there twice, and I love it. I'm going to go back there, try to go there every year now when I go visit my family in Colombia. But I go into this cigar store. It was, you had to purchase a cigar or a $5 clipping fee, and you could go into this particular basement and you could fire up down there. It was just a cigar club, but it was officially a different area. But being able to go into a cigar lounge and buy a cocktail and food, not being able to smoke was just horribly disappointing.
It is, you know, and this is the kind of way we live nowadays as cigar smokers. But as Jack alluded to and talked about, that there are always ways around things.
Oh, by the way, in Seattle you can smoke weed anyway.
Yeah.
It's the cigars that are the problem. You
Yeah.
can smoke weed anyway.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, when you travel around the country, I mean, just even, we talk about cigar bans or the smoking bans, but the truth, I mean, even taxes. You know, I'm going to Canada next week. I have 4 events in Canada. And but even within, thinking about California, think about Alaska and some of these states that have these huge taxes. I'm in a store where my cigar sells for $8 a stick, and then next week I could be in a state where my cigar sells, the same cigar sells for $12 a stick. Woo. And it's just, you never know. I hate when people ask me, how much are your cigars? You gotta look at the box, buddy. I'm in a state every day, and it's a different price everywhere.
If you're in Canada, it's $25.
And when you're in Canada, head outside to smoke.
Oh yeah.
No indoor smoking.
No indoor
anywhere.
smoking.
Yeah, but you can't smoke like on a public sidewalk either.
Yeah,
You can?
Okay. I was able to do that in Kansas City. I was able to walk from point A to point B while smoking a cigar. That's how I enjoyed my meal, and then I'd go for a long walk with a nice cigar. However, you gave me that punch Diablo and said, do not walk and smoke this one, which I'm very glad I listened to you. And that was wonderful.
Jack and I love Kansas City.
I love Kansas City.
Send all hate mail to Party Source, P.O. Box.
Oh, no, not the party source. Just straight to J.O.'s email account.
He's
Love
got a
him.
tag that says he's the owner here.
Oh, that's right.
Employee owned. Employee owned.
6+
Nick's an
years.
owner too.
I'm the other owner.
Yeah. But Kansas City is a blast.
Yeah.
Billy at the elementary school. This is pick on J.O. Day.
No, I love this guy.
I know they do. I'm just an easy target.
I love this guy. You know, it's funny, just mentioning, you were talking about like how many hours, how many days, 72 hours or whatever it was. The truth is, I wanted to correct you on that, but for a different reason. But we get to the show days before.
Oh, God.
And so the
I never
fact
thought
that
of that.
I was in Vegas 7 days straight for the trade show. And so it does make me a little nervous about Consumer Day if I'm there an 8th day. Sometimes I can get it down to 5 or 6 days, but this year it was 7 days straight. And Jack knows we get there way ahead of time. We've got to make sure the booth looks good. There's a lot of extra work to put in. And so for us, the trade show is more than just a trade show. And a lot of retailers are the same way. You guys are there usually early, meet and greeting, handling your business. So this trade show, if it extends longer, it's not just an extra 3rd or 4th day or 5th day of hotel. It could be the 6th, 7th, 8th day of a hotel.
And another
additional of your team. So that does make, I think, some of the manufacturers a little nervous, you know. But again, I think there's good news coming down the line.
There's another thing that kind of concerns me is the amount of business
I
that
gotta
takes
go see
place.
this Scott guy.
Yeah.
He's serving up some Kool-Aid. You and Skip drank some nice Kool-Aid over there. I need a glass of that.
And while we're talking to drink, anybody need a refill?
No.
Good right this second.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Now, one of my concerns too is the amount of business that takes place off of the trade show floor.
A lot.
Dinners, you know,
Weed
sitting in
stores.
the Circle Bar at the Venetian, or sitting at the bar inside
That'll
the
be
Treasure
done.
Island bar.
That'll be done.
If you throw in 1 million consumers into that, how am I going to get that kind of stuff? Where I'm, that's my chance to talk about actually setting up events, getting big names to come in, like people like Jack Torano or Miguel Schodel.
Sure.
I don't always have an opportunity when I'm trying to place my order and get to my next appointment. We don't have time to sit and talk about the fine details about events and things like that. That's the kind of stuff that I can get done after dinner.
It's not easy getting a table at the Luca Bar now. Imagine throwing 4,000 consumers in there.
It's gonna
even
definitely
thought of
change
that,
the dynamic of that.
It changed the dynamic majorly because, look, Jack and I, a lot of people know us out there. A lot of people like to talk to us, but we're not. I'm not a cigar celebrity. You definitely are. You get a lot of people.
I like to tell people. I had a guy at the trade show. He said, "Jack Torano, holy shit, you're." Can I
Don't
cuss
worry,
here?
yeah, it's okay.
You're royalty. You're like cigar celebrity. And I said, and Juan Cancel was sitting over there. And I said, I am a cigar celebrity in the world where he's a cigar celebrity. That puts it in perspective for you.
Well, the thing is I mean, just think about Eric Espinosa. Think about John Huber. Think about Pete Johnson. These guys
are monsters, and
they're going to be bum rushed like crazy. And I understand that because this is my 15th year, I think, or 15th or 16th year in the business. Now, before that, I followed these guys around, man. You know, I mean, I was that guy that went to the Big Smoke in Chicago, wanted to talk to the Tim Osgunners and the Rocky Patels of the world, so I understand that. But, man, can you imagine 4,000 consumers in Vegas that same week? Those guys are going to get no rest.
Well, I talked to Alan Gold from Lotus was actually talking about this too, and he said, it'll be interesting too if they, everybody has to man their booth and, consumers coming through. Who's going to want to meet Alan Gold from Lotus Lighters is what he said. He said everybody's going to want to go meet Carlito. They're going to want to talk to Jonathan Drew. They're going to want to talk to Jack Torano.
Well, listen,
they really don't want to meet him, but they want to see his lighters.
But
they can't get until he starts talking, and then you can't get in a word
until
in.
He's not looking. They don't want to take his lighters.
And then he keeps talking, and then you're like, Jesus, I gotta get out of here.
Until he starts bitching about the Cubs relievers.
I love you, Alan.
Until he starts bitching about Cubs relievers.
I know.
Oh my God. Anyways, I don't even know. Alan. I was at a big multi-vendor, and after me and my cousin Charlie and Sam Lacia, we were all sitting. This was like 5-6 years ago. We're all sitting at the hotel, and this couple comes out of the room. We're in the back of the area. There's like a picnic area. We're all, we didn't smoke enough cigars, so we're having another cigar.
Another feeling.
And this guy comes out and he says, "Oh my God, the Toranos are out here. Do you mind if I join you?" No. This TJ, good guy, still know him today. And he says, the first thing out of his mouth was, "I just came from the Drew Estate event in Hamburg. I stood in line 5 hours to meet Jonathan Drew."
The last time we had Jonathan Drew for an event,
5 hours.
We had 300 people
show up. How long did he talk to you? And he said, "Oh, he was great, like 5-10 minutes."
Wow.
But he stood in line 5 hours. Jonathan Drew is going to have just a crowd around him that you won't even be able to get near. Rocky, these guys that are true cigar celebrities, you're not going to get near it. Eric, listen, our booth in Vegas looked like we were slammed every minute because we had like 8 couches in there, and it was the hang place because everybody likes to hang with Eric.
Absolutely.
Yep. Eric's a guy's guy. Everybody likes to hang with Eric.
The few times I got to meet him,
everybody wanted to be there. So, and that's going to be multiplied times 100.
Yeah.
That is a very big argument right there. And it's this is me being the noob of cigars here. Can't do math, worth nothing. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, my octopus is weird.
Got a lot of octopuses. I like it.
Yeah.
Love that creature.
Yeah, me too. That's fine. It's I'm not wearing my
creature.
Optimus puss here. My octopus here.
Transforming octopus.
Yeah.
Octopussy.
I like that movie. That was
good. That was good.
It was a good one. Good James Bond. That was actually my first Bond I ever saw. But anyway, my comparison was let's get a little nerdy here. The video game conventions. About 10 years ago, they made it a big deal for E3.
E3.
I wasn't going to say the name, but E3. They did a thing where they cut out the public completely. They cut out the public completely.
Who'd they let in there?
They only let consumers in. And as a result, it was
consumer, like the people
the
buyers.
The buyers, the
Retailers.
retailers, and the reviewers were the only ones able to come in there. Don't you speak J-O-ism. Good God, Nick, educate this
They
man.
cut out the public. They only let consumers in there.
Yes, nobody buys video games anymore. Anyway, it
Only
caused
for 72 hours.
5 days, 72 hours. But okay. But okay, so they cut them out, and as a result, it was considered to be the worst one, but yet the buyers thought it was the best thing because they had a chance to get their hands on the software, but yet the public, the manufacturers, thought it was the worst because
But that's the opposite of what we are.
Yes.
That's a
And so
consumer
that-
show
yes.
that they turn the other way.
Yes, and so I'm using it as the flip of, in the end, maybe it's this
you
is.
had a
I
point
would
to
love
this.
to try to see this. 2 years in,
Yeah.
maybe 3. The first one you cut your teeth. The second one you round out the rough edges. The third year is when you finally see the retail, the return, and the fall in as to what is going to happen. The fourth year is officially when everybody starts to get burned out on it. So in the end, it becomes one of the burned out or burned into it.
No.
So it is one of those. It is, unfortunately, this is going to be like a 4-year thing in which, before we actually get the full effect of what we are going to see.
I'm worried that it might be one and done.
You're afraid of that?
I'm afraid that it might be. I'm afraid that if they don't put the right plan together,
It could kill the show.
it could kill it. It could not only kill Consumer Con, which I thought was funny because they changed the name to PCA because CPR was at the back of, nobody wanted to associate with CPR, and then they added con to their Consumer Day.
Well,
you
they're
do
going
that-
up at Comic Con.
Yeah.
Comic-Con,
But,
everybody knows what a con is. It's not what it used to be.
That's what the
Yeah.
kids are saying. It's
On
all the,
air.
it's all the
On air.
rage.
Yes.
Nick Cage?
I think,
Oh, my wife gives me so much crap when I watch that movie. The movie's great.
Just think of it as best case scenario. That's the way I look at it. What if it's best case scenario? We get 4,000 consumers paying whatever it is,
I lose a box of cigars.
and you lose a box of cigars to me. Why? I think it should be at the end of the show, and I think they are considering that. From my understanding, is that we do our
I think that'll be a huge
3 or
mistake.
4 full days. We send the majority of the sales guys home.
Yeah.
We keep back 1 or 2 sales guys and then the cigar celebrity, and then they get a tour of the thing. Maybe there's cigars involved or whatever. I could see that, and if that's what leads to us raising more money to fight the FDA, I think the industry will pull together and figure out a way.
I can also see Jonathan Drew and Rocky and all those guys leaving
Yeah.
after day 3 too.
Well, we could
And
do
then,
cutouts.
and then now,
Like the Hurt Lots
Lots. I wanted to take that.
You can take that gigantic punch and just put it up there and say it's somebody special.
Well, yeah, and
Well, maybe it's not
the
about
pro-
the cigar celebrity. Maybe it's just about the booth. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's like
think it's both.
like Whiskey Fest. You don't always have to have Al Young there. You just have to have somebody with minimal
know who
knowledge
that is.
pouring.
Let me give you
Full
no. You're right. So let me. I
Okay,
wanna
go ahead.
bring this up. I remember John Huber, who I work for at Crown Heads. He did a interview. I think it was 2 guys, one of their podcasts or something like that. And they said, "Man, you don't really get out there. You don't really do events. Like people want to meet you." And John, actually, I thought gave a really great answer. He said, "I love wine, and there's a lot of great winemakers out there. I'm still going to drink that wine. I'm still passionate about that kind of wine, even if I don't meet the person who's behind that wine. I'm just coming to mind, Madavi or somebody.
Okay.
You can still be passionate without having to meet that person.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that now that I've been in the industry as long as I have, I think that it's great to meet Rocky. It's great to meet Jonathan Drew. Eric Espinosa is probably one of the nicest guys in his business. I always enjoy breaking bread with him. But the truth, at the end of the day, it's about the cigars and it's about the industry. Would you not love Rocky Cigars if tomorrow something happened to Rocky? Or what if something happened to Eric Espinosa? Would you not still love the cigar? And so I think ultimately, at the end of the day, we have to focus back on what's great about these cigars. The celebrities are great, but it's not about the celebrity. It's about the tobacco. It's about the people that are growing the tobacco, about the cigar that we consume that we absolutely love. At the end of the day, it's about the cigar.
But
That is very much it.
I think, and I'll play the counterpoint.
Okay, shoot.
I think the coolest thing about our industry, and you used Robert Mondavi. You drink a bottle of Robert Mondavi wine and try to get a hold of that guy and tell him how much you loved it. Where in the cigar industry, you walk into that
You
humidor
could tweet, yeah.
and with social media the way it is, you can be talking to Skip Martin
Yeah.
or Eric Espinosa within 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And I think that's the great thing.
Look,
And that will take an Espinosa, a guy that thinks Espinosa cigars are good or Crown Head cigars are good, to another level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your face.
In your face.
I agree, and in some ways I agree. But at the end of the day,
ran out of battery like 10 minutes ago.
No, we didn't. I was just checking, make sure we still had sound up there. I wasn't seeing my sound speaker jump because there's a perfect line.
That was my highlight moment.
Can you edit that out? Can you edit that shit out?
But yeah, it goes. Going back to Whiskey Fest is you don't have to have the head distiller, the master distiller there. You have somebody pouring the liquid, telling you about it, and it's a chance for you to try the rare product, something new. And so that's the whole idea behind Whiskey Fest and what it's become. You go back about 10 years ago, you would go to it, and you would actually find Al Young buying all the Four Roses off of the bar at the big loft bar, pouring it.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to see that. But now you go, I mean, you might see, I saw a bunch of reps and people that I knew from the social media world, but in the end, it was me just trying a bunch of new stuff that I had never gotten the joy of trying. And so, is that your biggest
what was better,
fear?
you trying that stuff, or you getting Al Young to pour you up?
Pour for Al Young. That's what I was going to say. Is yes, it's fantastic. It is amazing, but I love that joy of trying a whiskey that I know I'm never going to get to see or purchase. And so I can see both sides of it. Yes, I love meeting the guys like your Eric Espinoza and your so forth, and whoever the hell you are, and that guy there. But hey, in the end,
72 hours.
72. But in the end, I want to try something new. You know, I love meeting, and you know, the story behind the product is half the flavor. If I get Eric Espinoza telling me how that cigar is made, by God, it's going to taste that much better.
Absolutely.
And so, yes, I see both sides. And so I'm just
Get off the fence,
curious.
buddy. Get off the fence.
I'm going to be neutral. I'm going to be Sweden here.
Sweden here. He's Sweden. Well, this is the other thing is.
That was Switzerland.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Oh, it is.
Shut up, Nick.
I'm going to be
Another
Turkey.
edit.
I'm going to be Turkey.
I'm going to shrivel up into a
going to
prude
be-
and leave here.
Sweden. Switzerland. All right. So, anyways, I have to say though, at some point our industry became very celebrity driven because I love talking to old timers. You know, the guys that are
I love that.
70s, 80 years old. Their tobacconists were a big deal to them. You know what I mean? And you know, I always think what you do in the retail side, you literally promote cigars, you talk about cigars, you throw these events, and you are really dealing with consumers more than us manufacturers will ever do. And I think a big part of that is trying to share that passion. And Eric Espinosa is one guy, John Huber's one guy. They can't go and meet everybody, so they need people to be like tentacles.
I think Rocky back in the day actually went out and met everybody.
Yeah, I mean Rocky.
Rocky
He
Patel,
actually
yeah.
met everybody.
Yeah, 365 days.
300. He was doing 300 events a
300
year.
events
I think,
a year.
I think he did
But
it.
I think it's very important that you know, our industry come together and hopefully we can support the PCA and hopefully this can all work out really good for all of us.
Fingers crossed.
I think for you as a retailer, it's got to work for you guys is the most important because you guys are the drivers of the business. I think it has to work out then for the manufacturers, and then I think it has to ultimately trickle down for the consumer to be able to partake in this consumer.
And I think Consumer Day will be embraced if you come out with a plan that's going to show and reflect that retailers are on board and more of them are going to come out.
I agree.
Because if we have 4,000, let's go with 4,000 consumers on day one, and then we're dealing with 200 retailers for 3 days. That's going to be frustrating.
Okay. Now I gotta ask, Doug, you've been incredibly quiet, almost horribly quiet.
Who's this?
What do you have to say to
This
these guys out there?
Well,
What are your thoughts?
coming from the retail side into the manufacturing side, being a rep, I'm hearing both sides. There are a lot of consumers that want to participate in the convention, and I think it has to do with what they don't know. They want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think they do want to see the celebrities. They can see them all in one place, and they can see the new stuff coming out. Most of the people that are going to go just love cigars and they want to be around it.
Yep.
From a retail perspective, I can see the problem with retailers being able to do what they came to the convention to do.
Yeah.
And that is to set up their next year, get some cigars in there that they haven't had, see what's new, talk to the people they need to talk
Well, really quick, and that's another thing retailers, Laranja Oscuro, we debuted at the show, right? We had a soft release about 5 weeks before it, but really everybody saw it for the first time. The majority saw it at the show. what cigar are we going to be handing out? Is it going to be this before it's in stores? Are retailers going to be happy, or can we give out?
I think you give out. I think this is just my opinion. I don't speak for PCA.
And then you made a good point that you think it would be cool if manufacturers created a special cigar for that day.
Well, that'd be nice.
That would be
cool.
cool.
I don't think you do. I think when you go to Comic-Con and you see the new toys that are going to be released by Super 7 or Diamond Select, any of these toy companies that they have it on display.
Too nerdy for me, man.
And yeah, I know, I'm a nerd. And they have them on display. You can't buy them yet. You know what I mean?
No,
or the new games at E3, you can play them, but you can't. So, you know, I think we show the new Las Calaveras, or we show the new La Colección coming out in October. Collaboration with Drew Estate and Crown Heads will be available at the Party Source. Plug. I think you have that on display, but you give them a different cigar, and I think they take pictures, they hashtag it, and they really get excited.
Maybe give out, like,
I think.
pins
Can you imagine 4,000 consumers being able to see this before it hits the show floor, before it hits your store? Maybe they're coming to your store,
It'd be
pre-booking a
ravenous.
box of them, pre-ordering them from you. I think there's a lot of possibility to get it right. There's a lot of things that could go wrong, but I understand it. I think there's a lot of that could go right again.
That's why I'm saying 4 years.
Before you got in the industry, you were a consumer.
Yeah.
Did you know about the trade show?
Oh yeah.
Were you interested in going?
I was interested in what was going on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Make no mistake, consumers have been going to the trade show for years.
Of course. More so in years past than recent.
This year was a lot less than the year before.
Right,
But I knew a retailer that brought 18 consumers one year.
Wow, that's cool.
And cut them loose. They would kept coming to me. Hey, they would name the owner of the store. Has he come by? No. He's coming right now. He's got an order for you. Can you give me a cigar? Yeah. 18 of them.
That's a box of cigars.
And I think that's what it's gonna be about.
That's
Is
math
consumers
right there.
being able to try the new stuff.
I didn't want to.
Yeah, that's okay. All that was in 72 hours. All right,
That's
so
math right there. Boom.
With my advocacy.
Okay, sorry, Doug.
Well, that's okay.
Go ahead.
I just think there's some positives. I think from the consumer side that they get to see kind of behind the curtain, but I think the celebrity is big because they can see them all in one place.
Yeah.
And I know when you guys have a celebrity at one of your events, the event is bigger.
Absolutely.
definitely.
So, and I think that will draw them so that they can see the guys behind the cigars, talk to them. I mean, I know when I get to talk to guys that make a cigar that I really enjoy, I have more of an appreciation for that cigar.
I will tell you, if consumers if that starts building as we're going, and it starts approaching that 4,000 number, I think more retailers are going to be more inclined to go. If they got 10 of their guys that sit in their shop,
Makes a trip to Vegas, you have a good time, to gamble.
the owner's going to be like, damn, I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Go.
on the other side of that is 10 people from your store want to go. And I know I saw some people posting, well, you can make it, whatever, take your people out to dinner, do this, do that. Vegas has all kinds of entertainment. If you're there to really do the deals, to get as many orders as you can, to maximize your profit margin, because that's what you should be doing
You
with
have
the
no
deals,
time.
who has time to do that? And
Well-
then I also saw the one like, well, you can take them to dinner, you can do this. I don't have the money for that.
Yeah.
And we're a big company.
Yeah.
We don't have the money for that.
And plus, I think for us that
And they said, oh, you could take them to a
Ain't
strip
nobody got
club.
time for that.
You could take them to a strip club. And I'm thinking, enough people already think badly about our industry as it is.
Yeah.
We don't need to be taking them to strip clubs,
yeah,
too.
that's very, very true. I mean, it's like the only difference, people think, a sin shop. They think liquor, tobacco, nudes. That's what they think of for a sin shop. Nudity.
News.
Nudity.
Like Fox
Oh,
News.
news.
Oh,
Like
news.
Nudes.
I like
Nudes.
your
As in
thinking.
When he
strip
texts
clubs,
me.
yeah.
I like
And
your-
so
I like your
it's just so I mean
Edit that
we have been grouped into this, as in like with the thought of firing up a cigar and drinking a glass of alcohol is 2 steps away from us ending up at the strip club.
It's a gateway.
And so that is, 1 step according to some people, and in some places, I hate to say this, the only place you're actually allowed to smoke a cigar is in the local strip clubs, because I'm not sure why and how they get around it, but they do. And so it's one of those ones of like, how in the hell did we end up grouped in with that? I mean,
And we can't compete with that on the consumer level. Everybody's going to go out and party with Juan
Do they have
Lopez.
people are going to
Everybody's going to
go
go out and party
and
with Juan Lopez, not us.
and so, I mean, that is
We're-
not
me and
very
Miguel are
good
taking you to
advertising. I'm going with what Nick is going off of there, is saying, you know, that's not really good advertisement on our part.
No,
Yeah, I took your husband out to a strip club while giving him my new cigar. I mean,
What is this?
yeah, you know, well, yeah. I mean, come on. Come on, you know?
What's the deal with that?
What's the deal with this?
I love cocktails. I love spirits. I love my tobacco.
It's
love my
it's
fire.
strip club.
It's barely a strip club.
I
72
just,
hours.
Every quarter in Kansas City.
No, I agree. I feel you, brother. I feel you, and that's something that
That's something that is a very hot
and-
topic to me. Is that
and-
we've been
yeah.
grouped in with this sin factor.
I agree,
And so yeah,
you know, I think a big part of what hopefully that I for myself personally, I only speak for myself, but a big part of me going to the trade show is strictly business. It's not really about. I may take a couple people out for a bite. But for me, it's all about business, and I can only speak about Party Source. I've been selling cigars at Party Source for probably almost 16 years.
Yeah.
And Party Source has always come. It's always been about business. It's always about, and you guys are busy from the minute you land in Vegas to the minute you fly out. And so there isn't a ton of extra time. But we'll see where it all goes. There's a lot of things still up in the air, and I have my fingers crossed that the PCA is going to be great and everything is going to work out really. I just found Waldo. And,
we might have another guy joining in just a moment.
but
here.
I have my fingers crossed that everything's going to work out great. And we're in Vegas, I think, for the foreseeable future. And hopefully everything works out really, really good.
Now the other thing I've not covered is I haven't said how much this is actually a really nice barnyard cigar. I love the flavor on this. The barnyard flavor. Shut up.
That's a strip club cigar, if I were
What's up, Jared?
So guys, joining us
So
is Jared
in case
Casebolt.
you guys are unaware, it's about a brisk, maybe 90
Not gonna
degrees
join
here
us?
today.
And only about
So
75
don't be
to
fooled
80%
by the
humidity.
hit cap and
I just think
He
we
looks
should have
like
like
he's
some
12.
powder people in
He's
here.
not.
Oh yeah.
And just
Guy's
so you know, the grass, you guys keep it so green. It's amazing. You never brown. I mean, they really do a great job in this grass. I just want to compliment your.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like a golf course, like a mini golf course,
little
but a
left,
golf course.
little left.
Yeah, the sun. I should have put on sunscreen before I came out here. I feel like I'm starting to burn. So yeah, we've covered some really intense topics, and we would love to know what your thoughts on. You know, Jared, they can't even see your head; they just see a floating body there.
Let's throw out a fun topic, man.
Let's throw out something fun since we've been pretty
We've
intense.
been drilling the IPPCA
You've been drilled?
IPPCA for a
Jack
while.
is tired of being drilled.
PCDA.
What was the pre-show topic?
Well, let's talk a little bit about any new cigars coming in. Anything interesting in the.
I've got 2 cigars hidden.
Okay.
I've got a cigar coming out in August called Juarez.
Oh, I've smoked it. Phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
Tabacalera Pichardo.
Tabacalera Pichardo, and it's coming out of Nicaragua. $5.95, $6.95, $7.95 MSRP. It is the little cousin to Jericho Hill. They will be available at the Party Source, and then
They'll be available this week.
this week at the Party Source.
The
And then
little cousin of Jericho Hill.
the little cousin of
The
Jericho
illegal
Hill.
alien of Jericho Hill.
and then
Now he requested asylum. It's legal.
It'll be out in August
legal.
if it doesn't get
Totally.
deported. But
down in Florida, by the way, everyone thinks I'm Cuban in Florida now. I live in Florida. I went from being Mexican to Cuban now in Florida. So La Colección, no, I don't see it either. La Colección, available in October. It's a collaboration between Drew Estate and Crown Heads. Got a lot of attention at the trade show this year. We're very excited to get that out. And like I said earlier, if it hasn't been edited out yet, it's going to be available at the Party Source.
Okay.
What do you have new coming out at Espinosa every day?
Listen, the Laranja just came out. We will probably be offering. We just put out the Habano, the Espinosa
Now, what size
Habano.
is that we're smoking
The
here?
Lancero.
This is Lance.
The Lancero. We've been adding a Lancero option to every one of our core lines. The Habano just got a 93 in Cigar Aficionado, so it's eligible.
Nice.
It's eligible for this year's top 25. And if we get into the top 25, that's 4 in the last 10 years.
Oh,
For a company that doesn't advertise,
that's pretty darn good.
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
So,
I had someone ask me why the word escuro and not oscuro.
Portuguese.
It's Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Yep.
Escuro.
Portuguese.
Okay.
Like Laranja means orange in Portuguese.
You know,
Yeah.
when you finish the box, on the inside of the box it says "Al fin" at the end
Yeah.
in Portuguese. So we kept that Brazilian Portuguese theme throughout. And the Brazilian Matafina wrapper, the Habano, the Seis Provincia, our tribute to the original six provinces of Cuba. Matanzas this year in a really cool box. I'm sure you guys
shutters,
the shutters
yeah,
are incredible.
Oh, the one that had
Painted.
shutters and...
Well, when we got back, the shutters were a little flimsier than we thought. So we're kind of addressing some issues on the box. So they'll be delayed about a month. We should be shipping in about a month and a half. We were supposed to be shipping right now, but we had to deal with some box issues.
Okay.
The cigar is phenomenal.
It is.
And then we have, we just released some limited private stuff, Bunker Buster, some other stuff.
Oh, cool.
Eric's always got his hands in one of those things.
Okay, now I also hate to, but we've been going about an hour, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun to edit and put together up on there.
Edit.
Edit. I'm gonna cut out some language and add some censors and
72 hours.
What? No.
Dumb.
Kidding.
Yep. Okay.
I know that's going to get cut out. So.
Yeah, okay. Just gonna make it that much harder.
More edit.
Well, Nick, what do we need to say?
Here's what I need to say. I don't know, when's this going to go up on the thing?
I'm gonna try and get it up ASAP.
August 14th, right here on Braxton Labs patio, we have a Crowned Heads event with this guy right here to my left.
Boom.
And we will be featuring, I know we're featuring the Buckeye Land.
Buckeye Land, absolutely.
Maybe we'll have some of those Juarez available.
Maybe some
at that
of the
event.
Juarez.
And if you're going to ship me more of those limited edition Bellicoso Finos on the Le Carême, that would be a great one
You
to
would
feature
think
too.
you still live here as often as you are.
I love. The
And
air's a little sweeter when I land.
October 8th, that's the second Tuesday in October, we'll be over at the Beer Cellar with Espinosa Cigars and Eric Espinosa.
I'll be there too.
Oh yeah, Doug.
Doug will be there.
Doug.
I'll be there too, and hopefully we'll be
October 8th.
live streaming again at that time.
Hang on.
So,
White Doug.
I'll be your Doug.
White Doug.
so yeah,
Our Doug's a white.
as we've been saying, it's kind of hard to talk over.
Sorry.
So, it's okay. So as we've been saying, this is a reboot of our channel. This is the Party Source Cigars, and this is going to be our first round table, so probably join us again in another month when we get a different,
Like CigarCon, this will be one and done.
Yeah. God, I hope not. I'm going to keep this going. So if you're new to the channel and this is something you like, hit that like button, subscribe, follow us, check us out on Instagram, Twitter. What is our Instagram handles here?
TPS Cigars.
Tell them, not me.
It's TPS Cigars.
TPS Cigars.
TPS Cigars.
TPS
All right,
Cigars.
guys. So Nick,
The Party Source.
Nick, you know what to
And
say.
get out to the Party Source events on Tuesday. I remember when I heard about those events, I was like, Tuesday night? You guys are doing it? They're unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nothing like it in the country.
And you do live.
I do live stream on Facebook and on YouTube. I fell off the YouTube because we had to reboot our channel. So this is for the reboot.
Very cool.
So make sure you like, subscribe, and share all of you, please.
Thanks
Cheers.
for joining us.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Thank you.
cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Nick, what's your saying?
Stay smoky, people.
Espinosa every day.
Crown Heads.
CYOP.
CYOP, baby.